Hello once again. Today we'll be covering the next area in Dark Souls 3 called the Undead Settlement. I'll be covering such things as important item locations, difficult enemies including bosses, as well as difficult areas of the game. As a reminder, this is not a complete guide. I'll only be covering everything you need to know to beat Dark Souls 3. When you first arrive at the Undead Settlement, you find yourself on a half-destroyed bridge. By jumping down to the left, you'll find Yoel of Londor. After depleting his dialogue, he offers his services, which I'll be showing how to use later on in this video. The first difficult area you come across contains about 10 undead farmers and 1 cathedral evangelist. By using firebombs from a range, you can blow up the explosive barrels, killing most of the undead farmers. Once killed, you can then face the evangelist one-on-one. The evangelist uses a giant mace and 2 spells. The first of the 2 spells is a ranged spell, where she casts a swarm of insects that deal bleed damage. The damage can be avoided by either sidestepping or rolling. The next spell, which is a little more dangerous, is her fiery bear hug. If caught, it will cause massive fire damage. This spell has a long cast time and gives you a massive opening for backstab. After defeating her, you can find the Estus Shard by the bonfire. From the bonfire, take the right across the bridge, through the building, and then when you reach the stone bridge, jump off to the right and you'll find the next bonfire. From this bonfire, continue through the building, across the roofs, jump down, and then to the right, follow the path along, and then right again to enter the sewer. In the sewer, you'll come across a giant rat. By killing this giant rat, it will drop the Blood Bite ring. This ring is very useful for this area because it provides resistance to bleed damage. Following the path along, you find the next bonfire. The next major enemy you come across is the Mad Spirit Holy Knight Hodrick. He uses a claymore and a parry shield. He has 2 spells. The first is a self-heal buff that increases his damage at the cost of his life. The other is an AoE heal that heals all allies around it. As well as this, he uses 2 stances. The first is where he wields a claymore and shield. During this stance, he will attempt to parry you, so it is best not to repeatedly attack him. The other stance is where he holds the claymore in both hands. This is the safer of the 2 stances and gives you the best chance of attacking him. Now be prepared, this is a long fight and he will heal himself multiple times using Estus flasks. The next item we need to collect is Mortikun's Ashes, which is protected by a giant shooting giant arrows, as well as a couple of undead farmers. By watching the footage, you can see the path that I take to get round to the ashes. Along the way, I also pick up a white branch, as well as the cleric's armor set. If you're feeling brave enough, on the same run, you can loop back round and attempt to run into the building. By following the path through the building, you will eventually unlock the shortcut to the boss. Once done, head back to the Shrine Maiden and hand her the ashes. This allows you to purchase the Grave Key, which is used to open the next area. By using the key, you can unlock another shortcut, which eventually leads to Siegebloom. After depleting his dialogue, step onto the lift to head down to the next enemy, the Knight of the Boron Valley. The Knight has a small moveset but high damage. He also wields a long sword which has a frost enchantment, but lucky enough there is a trick to deal with him. By running past him and opening the door, he is unable to attack you and cannot leave through the door. By using a hit and run technique, you can slowly chip down his health with no risk of dying. You will drop Irithil's straight sword. By heading back to the lift, you can now gain access to the giant. By making peace with him, he will stop shooting you, which then allows you to go back to the previous area and collect all the items, which includes a bone shard. After speaking to the giant, head back down the lift while facing away from the stairs. You shall see a wooden ledge. Jumping off gains you access to the next enemy, the Fire Demon. The Fire Demon has a moveset that mainly consists of AoE swing attacks, as well as an explosive slam attack. If you have spoken to Siegewood, he will now come to your aid in fighting the Fire Demon. By allowing him to tank the demon, you can get easy hits and eventually take him down. By continuing through this area, you'll eventually come across two evangelists. I recommend splitting them up by causing one of them to jump off the ledge. This way you can face them one-on-one, making the situation a lot easier. Flynn's ring can be found on the roof, and by jumping off the roof, you can gain access to the tower. The safest way of getting down the tower is by sprinting against the wall as shown. In this tower you'll find the clog-free ring, which restores stamina very quickly and is an important item in most builds, as well as the Mirage set. Before taking on the boss, head back to the shrine and speak to Yol, which can be found on the right side of the fire shrine. By speaking to him, you unlock the ability to get an extra 5 free levels. Once done, you need to kill yourself repeatedly about 10 times to attain all 5 free levels. In the footage I show the best way to kill yourself. As an indicator of whether you have collected all the free levels, when heading back to Yol, you'll hear this dialogue.
You have attained ample strength. All will soon be clear, my good lord.
Now it is time for the final boss of this area, the Curse-Rotted Greatwood. The Greatwood is resistant to normal attacks, and so can only be attacked on the flesh growths, which are located on his left hand, left leg, and main body. His attacks consist of spinning, ground slams, as well as body slams that cause the surrounding area to deal damage. As shown in the footage, I destroy the growths on his hand and leg first before his body. Doing this will keep you in the first phase for longer, making it an easier fight. In the second phase, he becomes more aggressive and gains a hand which does slam attacks and attempts to grab you. He also gains 2 more growths, one on his back and his hip, and the body one regrows. By destroying these in any order, you will eventually finish off the boss. If you're having issues with damage, I recommend using a charcoal pine resin. This adds fire damage to your weapon that the Great Wood has a weakness to. Thank you for watching the video. Please let me know what you thought in the comments below, and as always, I hope to see you next time.